On the first corner, this have to happen sometimes, because usually everybody thinks on the first corner is a very important corner, and they have to brake as much as late as possible. So this is what he was trying to do, but unfortunately it was a downhill. It is a downhill, on the first corner. So if you lose the control a bit, and tend to happen what has happened now.
And I think that's just what happened. He was so late on the brakes. He saw an opportunity. He thought he could take the lead away, but unfortunately just so late on the brakes. You saw the bike get loose, and unfortunately that's what's happened there. That's the incident there, isn't it?
Martin was already on the lean onto the taking right, and Yuri was almost on his rear, so he could not control his bike. So this is what happened.
Yeah, it's a shame, but we red flagged the marshals and the teams. The ambulance was on site immediately as soon as that happened. So, of course, without them, we wouldn't be doing this. And, of course, we're getting updates on the riders that were caught up in that. We are aware that Martin Verganek is okay.
We have seen Martin walking down in the pit, but the Yuri is on the ambulance, I think. I hope he's fine.
Yeah, we hope he's okay. We'll get an update. I know, Nasser, you'll probably be updated first and foremost because, of course, this is your championship. A great crowd as well turn out here for the first DSBK. I know after the exhibition race you were really excited to get this championship underway, and it's great that you're here with us. And as we said, it's great to see a company like Al Yusuf Motors. They are the official distributors for Yamaha here, and they've jumped on board of the championship.
Like I expected to have Al Yusuf on the board, because they're the one who owns Yamaha here in country, and like Al Yusuf, who's going to support us for this sport. I mean, unless the motorsport world, they don't support this kind of a sport, there's nothing here, because this sport is just still growing. It is not grown yet. I mean, it is there since last 10-12 years in Dubai, but still it is not grown to the point where it has to supposed to be. And this is what my try is I'm being a racer since last 10 years. I have seen how the crowd is coming and going. The riders are coming and going. They just race for 1 year, 2 years. They don't get the support from the sponsors and so and so. And I'm nice to see Al Yusuf on the board now. I'm glad they're here at Saxo and all other CHS. All these people are there supporting. I mean, kind of need to see a lot of crowd here. I mean, we are going to make a lot of efforts next coming up event, which is for February 11th. Date to be marked on February 11th. That's going to be a biggest event of the year.
And yeah, it's nice that you guys are back, because every year you guys come back with a bigger and better field. You've got so much talent inside a DSBK National Championship. And I mean, Martin Verganek, he did a stint in Europe for a very long time. He built up his championship campaign here. He was the man to beat. Everybody wanted to beat Martin Verganek, but it was like he's a league of his own. Even this morning during qualifying, he still retained the essence of what he did last year. He's just so much further ahead. Is there, and I know obviously with the category that he's in the modified, right? So there is modifications to his bike.
Yes.
But obviously there's nothing off the rule book, is there?
No. It's basically the modification is only about the engine. All other things with the super sport class, they can modify to the suspension and the so many slipper clutch and all these things they can do it. But only the engine part they can modify. The people who are into modified sector, so they're only able to do something little bit onto the engine. That's it. Otherwise, almost the bike looks all the same. Everything, the engine capacity is same. Everything is same. So yes, as you said, Martin, the people the rider like Martin, who they come as more and more the international riders to Dubai to race. That's a prestigious for us.
Of course, and for them it's their kind of off-season, right? Because obviously in Europe, America, Southeast Asia, you race during the summertime. Here we can't do this because it's too hot. But then we obviously race a different calendar. We race from November all the way through to about April, and because of course it's cooler here. So they can just continue racing. Like guys like Martin Verganek who come into the championship, they can just continue racing throughout the year, right? They can hone their craft, they can get up to speed, they can ride with some of the best here in the United Arab Emirates.
We're still not up to date with these international riders like European riders. There were so many Italian riders wanted to come and race here, but somewhere something is rules and regulations of UAE EMSO, and their FIM is not some issue in between. So we are trying to sort it out. So Italian riders, they want to come and race here. There are 4 riders wanted to race this year, and unfortunately it didn't happen. And same as European riders who has won the European Championship. So there are few riders who wanted to come here, but it's too late to get into all the terms and conditions here. So hopefully we're going to see more riders in February race, February, March and April.
So what is the reason you've got such a large gap? Because obviously we've got December, we've got one more round of racing I think it is in January. I know it's very busy with Ace of the
Autodrome
Monaco.
is super busy.
Yeah.
Autodrome is super busy. It's nice to know Autodrome is super busy. The circuit is completely packed all the weekends, and only weekends what we got is like from January and Feb, March and April. Luckily we got 4 rounds at least. It's supposed to be 5 rounds. People expect to have a 5 rounds. The reason being, if any in the championship, if somebody is having a little bit very close championship competition, somebody crash like Martin have done now, so he won't be able to race this race, at least the first race. Maybe he is able to race the second one. But if he lose something like this, if he crash or his bike is not fine, so five rounds are good to cover up the points. So this is the reason, we unfortunately we didn't get the 5 rounds. 4 rounds at least we got. So hopefully we'll do the good racing this year.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, because every year the bikes bring out a fantastic display. And now, the other thing I want to ask you as well is, you've done this for many years. It's been over a decade since you've been racing on 2 wheels, and now you're moving into sort of a position that you're no longer racing. I know your son is racing as well from time to time.
I wouldn't say I'm no longer racing. I'm still if I was bit because of my last year crash, I broke my ankle. So I was recovered after 7 to 8 months. I didn't have a good energy to come back, so I did 1 or 2 rounds, and I was not feeling that comfortable, because I have now another 3 months to go for February, so hopefully I'll race. Don't tell me I'm retired yet. And still, the reason to be in this sport and organizing this, because I have seen the riders from last 10 years, they are not getting that exposure what they are supposed to. Like me, we broke our bones, I fall and race and all this, but still the riders, even after everything, they come up and they wanted to ride again.
So that passion is still there for you no matter what.
Yes.
I know that obviously you're probably looking at this going, I wish I was out there, I wish that was me racing out there, I wish that was me challenging for the victory at the end.
Whenever I see my racers like Firaz and Yuri, they're all my kind of pace. We are all in the same grade and same pace and everything. When I see them, oh, I could have been there, I could have done this better this time, but it doesn't happen everything at a time. So I'm happy that I'm organizing this racing, and I'm so thankful to Kyle that he accepted my offer. What we are wanted to do together, and hopefully we'll have in February and March and April it will be better, because it was a very less time to organize everything in details, but still we'll do it better.
Well, it's always great to have you guys back, and it's always exciting when the National Championship returns for a very incredible racing series that we have here, and it's a lot of fun. The bikes always put on a fantastic display, and of course 12 laps of racing, we might not get as much racing as we'd like to have, but the good thing is nowadays that they're actually using the same track as the rest of the series, so we don't have to reconfigure, so they can also experience the fun that is going through the club link, through the bowl complex and stuff like this.
The reason to have February race is a club link is it's a club race, it's a club circuit, and imagine 22 or 20 bikes are allowed in club circuit, I think. So 20 bikes are going to have a 12 grueling laps. That will be interesting, because the people will be completely engaged to see the riders. It could be like a Moto3 bikes, Moto3 kind of a race. So it will be more exciting than the national circuit.
And that's the thing with DSBK, the National Championship. The field is so tightly packed because everyone's kind of on the same level. Even the rookies are fast. And as soon as they come in, they're quick out the box, And it's great to see that we have, again, this season, we've got 5 rookies that have joined us. We've got Tom Robson, we've got Rodion Yashkov. Tom Robson's been very quick out the box. I mean, he's lining up in 7th on the restart here by the looks of it. I think that might shuffle a bit here. Rodion Yashkov is right behind him.
If you see Tom Robson, I have never believed he could do 135 on his first race itself, because 135 is for the racer speed. I mean, he's still a rookie. So just see the potential down the last race of the season. By April, I think he'll be beating the guys who's into doing the racing.
Because that's the thing that we see over the past couple of years. We always see the rookies come in, they're not up to speed right from the get-go, but then literally after the second race, they're already tuned in, they're dialed in, they've watched the pros do it, they've watched the veterans, they figured out where the best line is, where to brake, where to accelerate, these kind of things. And they just get quicker and quicker as the season progresses. But I guess it's natural, isn't it?
It is natural. It is all in how you want to take it, how passionate about your biking riding skills. It's just a small mistakes, and you have to correct it time to time. Again, I'm telling you, Robson, yes. Tom Robson. Yeah, Tom Robson. I have seen his riding. He don't look like he's a rookie. The confidence what I have seen in him, and the corners what he's taking, the braking, everything is perfect. It's just a new track for him, and new first race for him. And I'm telling you, like, if you see his second round, I'm sure he'll be somewhere in the top 4 and 5.
So the timing screen is just updated. Now we have 13 riders that will take the restart here. We'll start with 8 laps instead of 12. So we've lost 4 laps, unfortunately, due to the red flag there. And it will be Saeed Al-Sulati, Manuel Para, and now Firas Abu Ghanem, who will line up along that front row of the grid there. And then the rest of the field will follow suit. What are you expecting here for this race? Who do you think's now going to come on top? Because obviously the clear winner was going to be Martin Verganek. He's 2 seconds ahead.
He's 2 seconds ahead of anybody. So yes, definitely, like, Saeed is on the modified sports bike. So I'm expecting if he don't make any mistakes, so it will be definitely he'll be the modified class. He'll be the winner expected to have, unless he does any mistake. And Manuel, Firas, and so Yuri is not there. So okay.
Yeah, so
if it was a Yuri was there, then definitely they're going to be a big challenge between Manuel, Firas, and Yuri. So they are my favorites here at the moment. But Yuri is unfortunately not there. But yes, rookies getting a chance to show themselves. So I think this will be very interesting for the rookie season.
It will be as well, and we're moments away from getting the restart underway. It's just been reduced by another lap by the looks of those, so we're only going to go racing for 7 laps here around the Autodrome for the first race of DSBK National Championship. If you've just joined us on the live stream, we've just had a red flag period due to an incident down towards turn 1, and unfortunately Martin Verganek and Yuri Nekrasov will not take the restart. We are aware that Martin Verganek is okay. We did see him walking towards the ambulance, and we've going to give it an update. He is good to go, but Yuri Nekrasov, we're still waiting for an update. Pit lane will open in about 6 minutes time.
I think the lap has gone down to 7 laps, I think, from 8, isn't it? Okay, that will be a quick run one.
So we've lost...
So they're going to have a 1 lap of familiarization lap, and then they straight away to race.
Yep, and we're down to now 13 bikes out of the 15 that was scheduled to start this race. As we said, unfortunately 2 will not take the restart here, and of course we're waiting for an update from Yuri Nekrasov's team, and once we get that we will let you know. But this is how they'll line up. At least the front row of the grid will change from what it was earlier today. Saeed Al-Sulati will line up alongside Manuel Para and Firas Abu Ghanem. So we've got the modified and the super stocks. Now Nasser, this is also a question I've always wanted to ask you. What is the biggest difference between modified and super stock? I know that you said that the modified, there's some changes to the engine and things like this, but
see, there are 2-3 differences. Like, one, the stock guys, like, who super stock guys, they can't use the slicks, full slicks. Okay, one is the tire, and second is the blipper. They can't use the blipper. The modifier can use anything, whatever they want. They want to modify it to the limit. They can go for any limit. There is no limit for them. So for the super stock guys, like, they have only slicks. They can't use these full slicks. They can't use the blipper. They can't use the brake disc, the super sport brake disc after stock. I mean, they have to use the only stock brake disc and the master cylinder. So they have to be, these are the only limitations, plus the engine. They're not supposed to open the engine and do any overall kind of a thing. So that's it. If the bike is doing, the stock bikes are doing good, like Yamaha especially, like Yamaha bikes are super good these days. So if they are those are the bike, they can very much compete with these sports. These modified ones, yeah.
So we just saw a shot there of Martin Verganek's bike that's back in the pit lane, and I can see the team are working on it. Now, I'll be honest, Nasser, it looked like the exhaust was not where it should have been. It looked like it was a bit too far off to the left, so I guess that's a result of the damage, because it looked like it was sticking out a bit too much. There you can see it on the left. Is that too far out, or is that because it's modified like that?
I think, no, that should be fine. I think if anything happens, that could have been out. So it is not even damaged. So maybe it was exhausts are fine.
Maybe it was just the camera angle there then.
Yes, possible, yeah.
Of course, they're just doing some final checks here. What do you think they're checking on the bike right now to make sure that it's ready for the next race later today?
If they have a good technicians, yes, they can do it in minutes. Unless it is too badly damaged. So I think the handlebars are fine, brakes are fine, and except I think they must have changed the fairing already. So bike looks good. I think he's going to go back to the grid again.
Yeah, it looks remarkably in good condition, seeing as what we saw at turn 1.
Okay, that looks like damage, but not even scratch.
Yeah, it's remarkable, the condition of the bike, unless there's damage on the left-hand side, but that we can't quite see. Yeah, there you can kind of see there at the back of the bike there, but honestly, you're right. He might be able to go up, but
Able to go, yes.
As per the regulations, would he now be allowed to?
He's allowed to race because it was a red flag. So I think according to the rules, he can go back. If it was the race was live, then yes, he won't have. He cannot go. But if it is race was stopped, and I think he can go back.
So it'll be interesting to see. We'll see if we get an update if Martin Verganek will take the restart here. He's not shown on our timing screens here. The pit lane will open up in about 4.5 minutes time here. But Nasser, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for
so much
telling us more about DSBK. Do stick around for the race. It'll be great to get your insights because, of course, you'll have the inside knowledge. You've raced here a very long time. I think you know the track better than anybody does here.
I think I know it because since last 10 years I'm riding here. This is one of the best, great the track what I have seen. The support from the Dubai Autodrome is excellent. I'm glad that we are in Dubai. Unless if you are I was in Saudi before, so if I was in Saudi, I wouldn't have able to race. I'm in Dubai and started racing since 2011. Yes, I had a crash in the beginning when I was a rookie. So I crashed first race and I crashed again second race. So then it started, but still didn't give up. So that's how I'm still racing.
And you did say that you want to get back on the seat later in the season?
I wanted to race, yes. I have a 3 months time to get back to my fitness. Hopefully I get back to my fitness and to see me in race grid on February 11th.
Well, that'll be good to see. That's only in well, actually, I would say that's a couple of weeks' time. It's not. It's in 2 months' time. So we've got a long way to wait to see you back on the bike. But it looks like the riders are getting suited and booted and getting ready to get back on their bikes. Of course, pit lane will open in about 3 minutes' time by the looks of it.
It still shows there is no timing showing.
So 12:20, I think the pit lane will open by the looks of it. And then that way we'll see 13 riders make their way down to the end of the pit lane. Of course, drivers here able to maybe do a quick debrief here. Now, another thing I want to ask you here. Now, the session has been red flagged, and obviously the teams after warm-up and qualifying this morning, they might want to change some setups before the race, which is all obviously fair game. But can they change the setup now during this red flag?
Yes, with the marshals, with the scrutineering guys, if they have to inspect, they can do it. With the scrutineering guy, whoever is in charge of that, yes, they have taken a rest. They can check their tire pressure. They can check their fuel, everything. So those are things are allowed.
Okay, well, I wonder if a number of teams will be doing that at the moment. They will, of course, be having some final words with their team. Maybe after that opening lap, they might want to change some things here and there. Like you said, the tyre pressure and whatever else they want to change. I did see that you were trying to get Kyle to come join us here, but he's just going to watch from the back, I think. Kyle, do you want to step in? Let's talk to the man from Farissa Racing. This is your brainchild. It has been your brainchild now for a couple of years. Nasser, thank you so much for joining us. We'll get him back later on, of course. But Kyle, I know you try to hide away from me in the corner of the room. You shouldn't have come up here, and well, you've been given a headset. Talk us through DSBK.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. So obviously, this season sees a new title sponsor involved to see if we can, further push and drive the motorsport community. Obviously, mainly focused on motorcycles, and this being round one, I'm sure we can already see, the progress that's already been made in such a short time.
Of course, and there's been some big changes from last season to this season. We've got a lot of familiar faces. We've got some new faces, so a new challenge for a lot of these guys here. It's very unfortunate what happened to Martin Verganek, and we have been given an update, but the one thing we haven't been updated for is Yuri Nekrasov. So do you know anything?
At this stage, we don't have anything confirmed. I do believe that medical staff would be looking at possible concussion tests, that sort of thing, just to make sure. But we will wait for further updates and keep everybody else updated. Of
course. So that was the incident. If you just joined us, we had an incident at turn one on our first race here for the DSBK National Championship, which unfortunately we saw Martin Verganek and Yuri Nekrasov out of the race. We saw their bikes in the barrier as well. But we will be going racing shortly. And I know, Carl, you're very excited to get this first race done and dusted. I know it's probably been a really hectic summer. It's been hectic already downstairs from what you're telling me before. Are you a little bit easier now? Is your mind at rest? Or is it still going at a million miles per hour?
Not at all. Maybe sometime tonight after we've packed up the race trailer, that'll be maybe a good time to sit back and relax. But yeah, it's been a very hectic 2 weeks just to get everything in order. Obviously, we have quite a few auxiliary things happening other than the actual race on the track. But no, it's great. And also a big thanks to everybody who's come down to Dubai Autodrome today to support the various racing, and also to all the guys that are out there viewing the live streaming as well.
Yeah, it's a great weekend to do it. The weather is absolutely amazing. We've got a bit of cloud coverage here. No rain in sight, and it looks like, well, the bell is whistling for the pit lane to open, and that means, Kyle, we're going to go racing again. We've got 13 bikes that will take the restart, 7 laps of racing, down from the 12 we originally had planned, and that's obviously due to the red flag. Kyle, I'll ask you one thing before you go. Who is going to win this race? Because now Martin Verganek is not in it, and we know that he was the quickest man this weekend so far. I think the door is wide open here. I think we're going to get a first-time winner here.
Yes, so the possibilities are all there. A lot of the young guns, or let's say the new guys, are really fired up for this. They've been proving it in their lap times in yesterday's free practice, as well as the qualifying this morning. Possibly a favorite for the race is still Saeed Al Sulaiti. But yeah, I think there's a couple guys out there who would like to see if they can, get up there and rub bars with him as well,
I think you're right, because he was right there. He looked like he saw an opportunity, but he thought better of it on that first corner, and he did a good job avoiding that incident, and he got through nice and cleanly. I think...
yeah, so it's always the old case of, you can't buy experience. And Saeed has been around the block a good couple of years. He's still a very fast competitor, but he has been at this level and much higher level for a very long time.
Well, the bikes are back on tracks. That's good news for us, Carl. I'll let you get back to it because I know that you've probably got some numbers to crunch, some things to sort out before we get started. But Carl, thank you so much for talking to us, and thank you for joining me here in the commentary box.
Thank you, and we'll catch you all later again.
So we are now officially back with racing here at the Dubai Autodrome for the DSBK National Championship. We wave goodbye to Kyle and Nasser, who have kindly joined us and keeping us up to date about the rebranded DSBK National Championship. We've heard some amazing things. You've got a new title sponsor as well. Such a great brand to have on board. Of course, Al Yusuf Motors, the OEM here for Yamaha products. It's great to have them on board for this epic championship. So we'll restart the race here with 13 bikes. It's showing that 2 bikes are still currently in the pit lane. One of them is Firas Abu Ghanim, and the other one is the 73 down in 9th position that will take the restart. So we'll shorten the grid down to 13 riders. We'll still have those 5 grids, grid linings even. Mohamed Baghdad will start at the back of the grid now, but he'll be all by his lonesome on that 5th row of the grid here around the Dubai Autodrome. So 7 laps of racing. We're now going to go racing once again here after that incident at turn 1 at the opening stages here of our first race of the day for the DSBK National Championship. I see the fans are in full support here of their family as well, bringing signs to support their loved ones, their fathers, their mothers, because of course there's a lot of different drivers in the field. We do have a number of female drivers and riders who have participated over the couple of years, and also here this weekend as well in the series that we have racing here today. And it's always great to see families come out to support each other, and of course friends and friends as well come out to support one another. For those in the grandstand, welcome to the Dubai Autodrome and welcome back to the racing season here in the United Arab Emirates. This is the 23-24 season, and of course if you want to see the bikes, the cars, the drivers up close and personal, come on over to the paddock area. There's plenty to do and see. It's a family-friendly atmosphere, and it's going to be a fantastic day all throughout. Well, we're about to go racing one more time as the grid will form up. It will be Saeed Al Sulaiti with Manuel Parra and Firas Abu Ghanim, who will share the front row of the grid this time round. So Firas Abu Ghanim, who started on the 2nd row, has been moved up to the 1st row of the grid here at the Dubai Autodrome. For those of you watching the live stream, thank you so much for joining us. We enjoy your company, and I hope that you've enjoyed what we've the information that we've relayed to you. We've tried to talk to everyone that we can during that red flag period to keep you up to date with the latest things that are happening in the DSBK National Championship. Of course, we'll try to get more insights from Golf Pro Car and of course Golf Radical Cup later on. I'll see if I can get George King to join me through Golf Radical Cup commentary later on today, because of course it'd be great to have insights. Of course, has had a very eventful season for himself over in Europe in LMP3. It'd be great to see him back up in the commentary box as well. So the grid is being cleared now for the restart here of the DSBK National Championship. We're about to go racing one more time here around the Dubai Autodrome before we take a break, and then we'll be back to more racing later this afternoon. So here we go. We are now under the starters' orders. The formation lap will begin. They'll reslot into their positions, and from there we will go into our restart for this race here. So you can see where Martin Verganek was supposed to start and Yuri Nekrasov was supposed to start. Those grid positions are now not filled, so actually Firas Abouganem will not line up on the front row of the grid. Instead, he will line up on the second row of the grid where he originally qualified. So the bikes are off now. The green flag waves for the formation lap here, so we haven't started the race yet. This is the formation lap here before the restart of the DSBK National Championship, race number 1 of the weekend. We'll have 2 races for them today here at the Dubai Autodrome. Of course, they're using the national circuit configuration, 3.56 kilometers in length. They use part of the back straight, and then that will be cut off through the club link, and they'll work their way through the bowl complex, through turn 14, 15 and 16, and then they'll complete a full lap here around the Dubai Autodrome. Saeed Al Salati will be alongside Manuel Parra on the front row of the grid. There'll be an empty slot on their far left where that's closest to the grandstand. That should be where that should be where Martin Verganek will start, but unfortunately out of this race. Yuri Nekrasov should start in 6th, but that gap is also not filled in here for this for this restart here, excuse me, not second race. Second race is coming later today, isn't it? But that will be how they line up at the front of the field. And then of course we go racing for 7 laps, down from the 12 laps we originally planned to race. We've now made that just 7 laps of racing here around the Dubai Autodrome. So the riders making their way through the club link and through the ball complex. They'll once again form up in their grid positions on the front straight. So the leader at the moment, or the pole sitter, should be on the grandstand side, which is the left-hand side of the track going down towards turn 1, and on the inside will be position 3. In the middle will be the second place starter, and that course will be where Saeed Al Salati will start. Alongside him will be Manuel Parra. So now through the final corner they come. They will line up on the grid one more time here before the restart, and there is the number 11, the modified of Saeed Al Salati, excuse me, as he pulls into his grid position. Manuel Parra now pulls up into his position. That's the number 34, will line up alongside him. Firas Abouganem in the 33 will line up closest to the grandstand there for Walid Al Shamias Racing, and there he is. He's slotted in position along with the rest of the field. Now we're about to get underway here. We'll see 5 lights go on, and once all 5 go out, we'll be racing one more time here. 5 seconds to go before the lights go on, and that will be racing. Here we go. The red lights are on. The engines don't start to arrive, and we're off one more time. Not a great start there, a bit further back. That was on the 3rd row of the grid. The starter did not get what he wanted there at all, but we're down towards turn 1 here for the 2nd time today in the DSBK National Championship. So we race our way down here, and there we go, nice and tidy through the first corner. A good start there from Saeed Al Salati as he works his way through the first corner, and he's followed nicely by a train of bikes. They work their way now through the first sector here on the restart. Nice and clean this time round as we work our way through here. Everyone look to be taking a bit more modestly this time round. We might be just getting back up to temperature here. It might be a bit cool on those tyres at the moment. Of course, just keeping everything in check and ensuring that we've got 1 lap in the books, and then we can continue on with the other 6 once we go past the start-finish line for the first time on this restart. So we're working our way through sector 1. We'll be fast approaching the back part of the track here, which is the back straight. So you said it's partly cut off due to an on-site activation here at the Dubai Autodrome, because of course every weekend it's full of action, especially when it comes to a race weekend. We've got racing, plus we've got experiences happening at the same time, and it's great to see we can have both on track at the same time. But here we are for the first race of the DSBK National Championship. The number 11 continues to lead. Through the ball complex he goes, and it looks like Firas Abouganem has snuck up into 2nd position, so he's found a way past Manuel Parra already on the opening lap of this race. He didn't quite do that through turn 1, so he must have done it through sector 2 somewhere that we didn't quite catch. So down through the last couple of corners they come now. Through turn 16 will come Saeed Al Salati as he works his way across the line now. Let's see what the gap is between himself and Firas Abouganem, who's got a bike off through turn 16. The rider is okay, and he's sprinting off to his bike. I think that's another one of the Walid Al Shamias bikes, possibly, that's gone off through turn 16, and it is the 55 by the looks of it that's gone off through 16. Now he's ran across the double yellows wave down towards turn 16. Anyway, he's just inspecting the bike here, and hopefully he can get going again, but the double yellows will continue down towards turn 16 for the foreseeable future until that bike gets going again, because of course that is quite a heavy braking zone down there, and if you get it wrong, that won't be great, will it now, at all? So here we go. It is 2.1 seconds separating Saeed Al Sulaiti and Firas Abu Ghanem, and then Manuel Parra is 3.3 seconds back from the race leader, but 1.1 seconds back from Abu Ghanem at the moment. Tom Robson's had a great opening lap here on the restart, up into 4th position already, which puts him 3rd in the super stock, and he is only 0.3 of a second up the road from Johan Gawas at the 73. Now, I thought he was a bit closer to Manuel Parra, but it's 6.7 seconds separating the two of them there, and it looks like, well, unfortunately, the number 55 has been pulled behind the barrier, so unfortunately race over there for Florian. He'll have to try again in race 2. Here comes Saeed once again, builds that lead up. 2.1 seconds is the gap so far between the two of them. And then Firas Abu Ghanem being chased down by Manuel Parra. Manuel Parra trying to get back past him here, trying to retake that 2nd position back here at the Dubai Autodrome. He'll be followed by Tom Robson, who's got 3 bikes surrounding him at the moment. Now that Johan Gawas has gone through, no it isn't, Rodion Yashkov has got through, so we've got 2 rookies now in 4th and 5th respectively. Johan Gawas has had a problem. He's dropped down the order to 8th position now at the moment. As unfortunately drops behind Graham Purvis. Purvis moves up into 7th. As there goes across the line. Matteo Monero was there as well, up into 9th. I guess that red flag period there was a blessing in disguise for him at least, because of course he started from the pit lane, and now he can make some headroom and work his way up the order. Mohammed Samshir unfortunately dropping down. He's in 10th position, excuse me, in the 39. Ahead of Mohamed on the 12 and Hussein Bolat there on the 49 bike. At the tail end of the field in 12th overall. We've got that battle brewing here for what is 4th at the moment between Robson, Yashkov, Adrian, Graham and Johan, all battling it out there for that position. Now for Tom Robson, there's a little bit more at stake here for him, because of course that is the battle for the 3rd step of the podium as well in super stock, and with the Yashkov right behind him by 0.2 of a second, he's got to be really careful. He's got a wing mirror full of him so far, or should we say 2 mirrors full of him, because a bike doesn't have a wing mirror, does it? It has 2 side mirrors instead. A bit weird to have a wing mirror on a bike, wouldn't it? As across the line goes Firas Abu Ghanem, being chased down by Manuel Parra, and of course with these two battling, that means that Abu Ghanem is losing time, and actually both of them are losing time to the race leader, who's now built a gap of 5.6 seconds. And there is that battle between the two of them at the moment. Manuel Parra trying to take back 2nd place as the battle for 4th rages on here. Tom Robson and Rodion Yashkov have separated themselves now from both Adrian, Graham and Johan. And I think Matteo Monero is now starting to creep up on these guys as well, because he's got Mohammed Shamsir 1/10 of a second behind him at the moment. So Shamsir now trying to work his way up the order. 4 laps to go here around the Dubai Autodrome of our first race of the day for the DSBK National Championship. Now Sulaiti is your race leader by 5.6 seconds to the good. Mohammed there being chased by Hussein, and there we go. Unfortunately on the timing screen, Florian is out here of this race in the 13 position on the 55 bike. Back to Firas Abu Ghanem and Manuel Parra now, as these two battle through the club link. This is the battle for 2nd overall, and of course the top step of the podium is super stock as well, as Manuel Parra looking for a way on the inside of Firas Abu Ghanem as they lean their way through turn 15 now. They crest over the hill down towards turn 16. Can Manuel Parra sneak up through the inside? Not quite close enough to make a move. They continue to circulate behind him for the time being, but of course we're coming up now to turn 1 with 3 laps to go this time round. You can see just in the front of the shot there, you saw how far up the road Saeed Al Sulaiti is by 7 seconds to the good so far. Heavy into the braking zone goes Firas Abu Ghanem and Manuel Parra, with Parra trying to look on the inside once again, but again not close enough to make a move. Now we're back with this battle here. Now is this Yashikov and Tom Robson as they work their way towards the link? No, it wouldn't be. This battle's a bit further back from these two at the moment. This should be Mohammed and Hussein battling it out for the 4th step of the podium, or the 4th position, better yet, in the rookie category that we just saw. Here we are, though, with the battle for Robson and Yashkov in the 86 and 21. And of course, these two battling here for top honours in the rookie category, and of course, 3rd overall in super stock as well. As they continue on, they're separated by 0.2 of a second at the line, and they're starting to drop the 73 now, as the gap has built up to 1.6 seconds. We're on lap 5 of 8 here so far. 3 laps to go in this restarted DSBK National Championship Race 1 here at the Dubai Autodrome. As there goes Mohammed and Hussein across the line. 11 and 12 respectively, 12 and 49, separated by 1.4 seconds. As here comes the race leader now through turn 16, is it? Should beat the number 11, indeed he does now. This is your race leader as he crosses the line with 2 to go. Penultimate lap now is underway here for Al Salati, who's now 7-ish seconds up the road by the looks of it. Timing screen is showing 7 seconds exactly is the gap. Well, now it's gone up to 8.5 seconds actually between Al Salati and Abu Ghanem. Of course, Abu Ghanem slowed down by Manuel Parra, who is still battling out there. 0.4 of a second is the gap between those two at the moment. And here on the inside, there's the 86. That is Tom Robson, and he's lost out to Yashkov on this lap. That means Yashkov now leads the rookie category and is in 3rd in the Super Stocks as well. That happened through what looked to be the bowl. And there goes Yashkov now hunting down Manuel Parra, but 27.4 seconds. That's a long way to go, that's for sure. With 2 laps left on the clock, there's definitely not enough time left for Yashkov to challenge for the 2nd or even top step of the podium in Super Stock. Salati, though, 8.5 seconds up the road, looking to start his season off here strongly in the DSBK National Championship. 2 laps to go here at the Dubai Autodrome for our 12 riders who took 13 riders took the restart. We've got 12 riders in the field. Unfortunately, the 55 had to retire a few laps ago. As Firas Abu Ghanem stays ahead for the time being of Manuel Parra. Manuel desperately trying to find a way through to reclaim that 2nd position. As there was Yashkov, it looked like Yashkov, no, Saeed Al Salati there across the line. 1 lap to go this time round for Saeed Al Salati, who is now 9.6 seconds up the road. He's 0.2 of a second, and here comes the battle between Manuel Parra and Firas Abu Ghanem again down towards turn 1. Manuel Parra, again, not close enough to make a move on Firas Abu Ghanem, but if he wants to make it, he's going to have to do it on this lap, and he's running out of opportunities already. 1 down and only 2 to go, really, in the bikes. It's only really during turn 16 he can actually get a good run and heavy into the braking zone. But Manuel Parra is going to try in each and every corner that he can do. He's going to watch Firas Abu Ghanem and try to stick to him like glue as they work their way through on the final lap. And Tom Robson has gone back up into the lead of the rookie category as well, back onto the 3rd step of the podium in Super Stock. As here comes Manuel Parra again, looking on the inside. We're getting close here. There's about a bike or 2 between the 2 of them as they work their way through. And now towards the club link. Is this where Abu Ghanem's going to lose that position to Manuel Parra? Not close enough. Nasser is getting very excited about his first race here. He's watching this very closely with sun in hand as well. As through on the inside, he's done it thanks to traffic in front of him. And through goes Manuel Parra, back up in a 2nd position. But of course, Abu Ghanem has 1 more opportunity through turn 16. Can he brake late and get past? Let's see what happens. Not enough close to make a move, but unfortunately for him, he'll have to settle for 3rd. Saeed Al Salati, though, across the line, takes victory here in the 1st DSBK National Championship. On the last lap of the race, Manuel Parra, thanks to traffic, takes 2nd and wins in Super Stock. Firas Abu Ghanem 3rd across the line and 2nd in Super Stock. But between Tom Robson and Yashkov, who will it be? As the 2 offer their congratulations to one another there, as they work their way through turn 1 on the cool-down lap here. Now, where is Robson and where is Yashkov in all this? Who has got ahead on this lap? Will it be Yashkov or will it be Robson as they work their way through the final corner? We also had Hussein and Mohammed come through. And there it is. Yashkov settles for 2nd in the rookies. Tom Robson beats him by 1/10 of a second at the line. There was less than half a bike separating the 2 of them there. Unbelievable finish between the 2 of them. As the rest of the field now work their way across the line. We're just waiting now for Mohammed Shamsia to work his way across the line, because of course he'll take the 3rd step of the podium in the rookie category. Now that wraps up the first race of the day for the DSBK National Championship. I think we'll move on now to the podium presentation for this, but of course before we do that, we'll have some highlights from the race for the first race of the weekend for the DSBK National Championship. They'll be back on track later on as we look at Saeed Al Salati. Waves to the camera. And there is the running order. Saeed Al Salati is your victor by 8.6 seconds at the line, ahead of Manuel Parra and Firas Abu Ghanem, your top three. In the super stocks though, Manuel Parra from Firas Abu Ghanem and Tom Robson. In the modifieds, it's Saeed Al Salati from Adrian Andaranche, and then it is Johan Gauss who will be on the third step of the podium in the modified category. And well, I can see the trophies are being prepared for the podium presentation, and of course we'll have that underway shortly here for our first race of the day of the DSBK. They'll be back on track later on. Now let's have a quick look at what time they will be back on track later on. They will be racing again at 25 minutes past 3. That's when the pit lane will open. The formation lap will start at 35 minutes past 3, and then the race will officially begin 5 minutes later at 20 to 4 today local time. For those of you watching in the stream, thank you so much for joining us here. We do have the podium presentation coming up shortly, so do stick around for that. We also have the highlights package coming away, and for those of you in the grandstand, thank you so much for joining us as well. We've got a fantastic day of racing here that's getting ready to be unfolded as the day progresses here. Final checks underway, of course doing their mandatory weigh-in as well. Last thing you want to do is have a underweight bike at the start or at the end there and unfortunately lose your podium finishing position, as the riders now start making their way into Parc Ferme. A very interesting race to say the least here at the Dubai Autodrome for the first race of the weekend, and of course the championship for DSBK as well, because it seems to be we're going to have a long break between race 1 and race 2. Sorry, round 1 and round 2 actually, because we have 2 races today, so we don't have to wait too long for the second race today, as that will come up later on this afternoon. So podium currently being prepared here for our 3 categories that will be awarded trophies here in the DSBK National Championship. We'll give trophies to, of course, our top 3 in modified, our top 3 in superstock, and of course our top 3 in the rookie category as well. As you can see, final checks are underway, and it's getting rather busy down there in Parc Ferme as well. A lot of riders want to get off and have a sit down in the cool down room, maybe cool down as well, as they patiently await their turn here at the Dubai Autodrome. Still very busy around Parc Ferme. It's not so busy up here in the trophy presentation area, as that will be happening momentarily as final checks are underway. As we concluded successfully the first race for the DSBK National Championship. So we're going to have a quick look at the highlights from our first race here for the DSBK National Championship Race 1 in a few moments' time. And here we are. Here are the highlights of the first race.
For more than 6,000. But the spirit of adventure, we've had that forever.